Hey guys, today I'll be talking to you about two different cool EQ techniques that I use on pretty much all of my channels. I'll be going through a mix that I have. It's a very simple one, and I'll be showing you how I use it. So let's get started. So I've basically compiled a bunch of loops, pre-existing loops, just to make a quick track out of it and be able to show you how I use my EQs on each part. So let's hear the track. I'll solo the channels one by one. I'll slowly bring them in so you hear what all the elements are, and then we'll slowly EQ them one by one, and I'll explain my rationale behind each move. So here we go. We start from the beginning. Yeah, funny enough, I'm using Mark Knight loops. So yeah, I wouldn't be writing a song like this. I'm just putting this together so I could show you how I would mix this, for example. So whatever it is, if you have your own kick, your own bass, your own loops, etc., it's basically the same idea. So let me turn off everything but the kick, and I'll slowly add every single element in. The kick, the bass. It's a bit loud. Drums. So this would obviously be group, right? Because there's a couple of different elements happening in this loop. I would not ever use this loop as is. I will have different channels, and whatever EQ I'm doing, I'll most probably add it individually or to the group as well at the same time, just to make sure everything has been properly cleaned up. Last vocal glitch, E sound. So this is the groove pretty much. I don't really need return channels at this point. Cool. Okay, so let's solo the kick. What I would usually do on a kick to start off at the beginning of my mix, I'll just put in the high pass. It cuts at 30. I don't really need much information below 30, at least not to this point. At this point, and it just kind of like deadens or lowers the volume of anything that's below 30 hertz a bit. Just kind of helps you have more headroom at the end of your mix. So that's what I would do for now. If I feel like if I'm working with a kick sample, on like let's say a kick designer like kick 2. I would have to EQ the sound if need be, if I want more of a click or more of a thump, and you could do that by basically playing out with the EQ. Kind of like how the kick is not too invasive, it's there, it feels good, it cuts through the mix, and I don't want it to be too smacky as well. So looking at the bass now, so there's a lot of region here that I wouldn't necessarily need. I mean, I could keep it because the only elements that would be present in that lower range would be the kick and the bass anyways. And the kick will be sidechained to the bass. Sorry, the bass will be sidechained to the kick. So I'll still remove the low end. And again, for the bass, I would not necessarily put in highs, depending on if I want the top end of the bass to be more obvious or not. So one of the cool tricks I've been doing so far, it's cool, it's simple, not that it's cool, but I kind of roll off the low end on pretty much every channel in my mix. That opens up a lot of room for the mix. And obviously when I say roll off the low end, like the super sub bass, and which I don't really need in my mix. So one cool thing is that I apply this on every single channel I have methodically, and this helps me with the starting point of the EQing process, or at least a channel strip as well. Same for the drums. See, the drums don't need this region. If I were to, let's say, put a low pass and show you what we hear in this region, like I'm hearing a bit of clicks and stuff, but it's more the tail of this. There's nothing really happening here. And if I were to, let's say, do a 4-time band, I'm not really hearing anything. This is just rumble and noise, which I would want to get it removed. So make sure you don't lose too much warmth. Well, you don't lose warmth at all. You just cut out the signal until you're just good enough where the sound's not being altered and you were able to cut off some lows. Yeah, see, in this case we're at 120 hertz, so whatever below that is being ducked, not ducked, just reduced in volume. Now, the second cool trick that I would be using, I won't be using this trick on everything, but more on drums or different types of leads, I could go in mid sides. So the blue line is for the mid signal, and if I click on it, the orange one is for the sides. Now, in the sides, I would EQ things differently. I would obviously remove the lows. I don't want lows in the sides because if there's any phasing going on, we're going to have a lot of issues in mono environments like clubs. So see, I've rolled it off a bit higher in frequency range, and what I tend to do sometimes is I raise frequencies that are a bit different than in the mid section. If I were to, let's say, increase all the highs, or anything like above about 5000K on the mids, on the sides I would maybe increase another area of the sound. So this kind of gives you an interesting stereo vibe. It gives you an original placement in the mix in terms of especially the drum group or specific type of leads. See, I feel like it has lost a bit of warmth, so I'll back it up a bit. On the mids only. On the sides, I mean, you can back it up a bit, but not necessarily too much. You don't really need much low-end sides. It's much better now. If you're listening on good speakers, good headphones, you'll hear the difference. Now, moving on to the vocals. Again, there's a lot of low-end energy I don't need. So tip 1, remove that. Too light, too thin. This would be good. I could maybe raise the top, and then I'll see if I could do a mid side to this as well. You know, we'll do the same for this as well. A lot of useless low end. We see the main fundamentals here. We don't really need much of this. It adds to the warmth, but the lower you go, the more meaningless it becomes in terms of the sound. Much cleaner this way. Let's apply the mid side as well. See, and let's kind of affect on the sides the harmonics, the third and fourth, fifth harmonic. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And things just settle in a really cool way in the mix. So first things first, remove the low end as much as you can without ruining the warmth of the sound and the song. And then use the mid-side option in the EQ to be able to lift higher frequencies differently from the mid signal to the side signal, giving you a nice stereo vibe. It's a cool trick. Try it out. If you like it, use it. If you don't like it, you don't need to use it. It adds a lot of cool aesthetics to your sound. So, as always, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Just ask them below and I'll get back to you. Or you could even email it to me. So, see you guys next time.